as usual, it's a standard practice when we learn a particular language, we would start with writing the Hello World program. And that's how we would start our programming career with Rust also. Okay. So I think you might have seen the program before, just when I opened the Rust playground. But anyway, we will see how it works. Okay. So before getting into the program, I will let you know some like how to create a project, how to execute a project, and all these things. Okay. So what is a project? So project is basically a folder. Okay. So folder which contains a file named main.rs. Now, what a main.rs file is the single executable file that is present in a project. Okay, so consider a project as a directory and it contains an executable file named main.rs. Okay, now just bear with me that you need to know that in order to execute a main.rs file, you require a particular function named main function in that main.rs file. Okay, so you require a function called a main function, and this main function is the a default executor of the program, and it is very must that you need to have a main function in your program. Okay, and to execute an project, we would be using a command called as cargo run. Okay, cargo run is the command that you use in the terminal to execute it. Now if you don't understand this concept, please don't worry, because we will be showing a live demo of all these things. Okay, so just please bear with. Okay, now, yeah, so I will show you the program. Just a minute. And also, I need to add one thing. So I'm actually working on a GitHub project. This one is actually the local setup of the GitHub that has been shared by IBC. So I guess they will be sharing this with you so that you can have further look into the code if required after the session. And you can also contribute into the directory as well. Okay. So yeah, so you do not have to look at this commented code. I will just start showing you what happens here. So in order to run a Hello World program, the first thing that you need to do is to create a main function, because I have already told you that a main function is important. Okay. So before working with the main function, I would like to show you how to create a main.rs. So if you have used this IDE before, now
We
I
have
would ask
lost
you.
your audio, Rishabh.
Hello, is it okay?
Can you try to remove the microphone, because I think you're typing also, so it might create trouble for you.
Can you hear it right now?
Yeah, yeah, this is fine.
Okay, then microphones isn't required. Okay. So
Yeah,
guys,
sure.
I'm not sure if you guys have used an IDE before. So basically, using an IDE is pretty much easy. You need to install the VS Code and then go to the file, and then you can click an open file. Okay. So once you've created a file, then you can open it in the IDE, and then we can start working with it. Okay. So first of all, before getting into the program, I need to tell you that you require mainly three things. That is an IDE and then a terminal. Okay. A terminal is a place where you can actually browse through your files, and also it enables you to execute your files. Okay. Now, I cannot go deep into like installation stuff and also explain how to get these files into VS Code and all, because there are actually a lot of videos in the internet where you can actually find methods to how to work with files using VS Code and how to work with a terminal as well. Now this is a basic Windows PowerShell which is already present in your system if you are using a Windows system, and you can also have a shell in case of Ubuntu, or you can have a terminal in case of Apple as well. So it's not an issue. You just need to get into the directory where your program is actually present. Okay. Now in VS Code, you also have an option called as Code Runner, which allows you to click this play button, this stuff above, and then you can actually execute your program as well. So there are multiple ways to execute, and all I need you to do is to create a new file and name it, give some name with an extension rs. Okay, so like say if I'm creating hello and I need to give an extension rs so that it is a Rust file, it's recognized as a Rust file. Okay, now yeah, that's all. I don't require that file anyway. we will see about in this program. Okay. So as I mentioned before writing any program, we need to create the main function. So I'll show you how to create a main function. So fn main. Now this fn is actually a keyword in Rust that tells the compiler that you are going to define a function. Okay. So this is a function. Function is usually represented by a word after being placed by a parenthesis. Okay. So what is a function? Function is actually a single representation for a redundant code. Okay. Now we'll discuss about functions in today's session, so you don't have to worry. Just keep in your mind that you need to type fn main in order to execute a program that is being written in Rust. Okay. So in fn main, in order to print something into our standard output or into our terminal, what we do is we use a function called as println. Now this is a macro. There is a short difference between a function and a macro, but it's not really prominent for you to understand what is the difference. Okay, so just understand, you use the println macro to print whatever string that you require, okay, into the terminal. Let's say I type, hello guys, welcome to CP August. Okay, just add IBC as well. Okay, now I have typed a code which contains 3 lines, which contains a fn main, which is a main function, and then we have a print statement. Okay, but it should end with a semicolon, because Rust is actually similar to C++. Its syntax is similar to C++, so we need to keep the curly braces and also the semicolons. Okay. So this is how we write a simple program in Rust in order to print anything. Okay, if you have any doubts, then please put it in the Q&A session. We would be discussing it. Okay. Well, now how to execute this particular program? You can just click the Control S to save this program, and now you can come to the terminal. As you can see, this is the location where I have placed my file. Okay. So I can list all my files using the ls command, and you can see some of the files. So I want to compile a Rust file. Okay. Now to compile a Rust file, you have a command named rustc. So rustc, the name of the file. So to compile a Rust file, you'll type in rustc and then you'll type the file name. So you can write hello world. Okay. So rustc hello world.rs. Now this is compilation that is happening right now. So we have completed the compilation. Now we need to execute. Okay, so as you might know, like Rust is a compiled language. So you have 2 steps. First you compile and then we execute. Okay, it's not similar to Python where you can do both the stuff in the same step. Okay, so now we will be executing. So in order to execute any program that you have created, you will obviously create an executable file, a .exe file. So you just need to call the .exe file. Okay, and you can see that ./hello world.exe. Now when I click enter, you can see the string has been actually put or as produced as an output into the std out, and std out is the standard output, that is the terminal. Okay, so do you guys have any doubts regarding this one? So means we are calling the println macro. You can think macro similar to function, but macro have some extra benefits that will come under advanced Rust. Well, macro has some specific utilization. Like the main thing about macro is that macro uses code expansion. So it's not similar to functions, whereas functions usually take additional time and context switching in the case of CPU utilization. Okay. Oh, you can see the output in the terminal, Mount. Okay, you can see the output in the terminal. Or you can just click the play button. It will also give you a terminal. Okay, so it won't be an issue. You can see the output in the terminal. Okay, so don't get confused with macro right now, because see, just this means something. I'll explain to you what a macro could look like in some period of time, just to understand. But just keep in mind that you use the println to print anything into the standard output. Okay. Now, I think all questions are answered. Okay. So yeah, we'll go back to the slideshow. So fn main defines the main function, and the curly braces are the function body wrapper, and then the println was the print macro that was used to print the contents enclosed by the function into the screen. Screen क्या मतलब क्या है? Screen was the terminal. Okay. So the syntax is similar to C++, and Cargo is the packet manager for Rust. What is Cargo? Okay, well, Cargo is the package manager. Now, what does Cargo do? Cargo does some 3 to 4 operations. The first one is Cargo run, that does both the compilation and the execution of the program or the Rust program. And now I have not shown you how to create a package because we have multiple programs to be executed for the single session, right? So that is why I never showed you the how to create a Cargo project. But if we have time at the end, then I would obviously show you how to create a Cargo project. Okay, you do not have to worry about that. Basically, Cargo is the packet manager, and it allows you to install additional dependencies that you might require while you program. Okay, where to find terminal? Oh yeah, a terminal can be found out by using Ctrl+Alt+T, or you can just click in the Windows, just the Windows button, and you can just type terminal, and you'd be prompted with PowerShell or any other terminal. Okay. Can you explain compile again? Okay, it's similar to Java while compiling and executing on terminal. Yeah, it's similar to Java. Yeah, you got it right. Because we use Java C to compile and then we execute. Yeah, you're exactly right, Anjali. And so command is not working. Bro, like I don't want you to do this stuff in between the session. Okay, then it's going to be really confusing and hard for you. So please don't do it in between. Just try to understand it and then do it when you have time after this. Okay, is our Java programming and Rust programming similar? Not really. It is not very similar. As you would go more into the sessions, you would understand that it's not very similar at all. Now, what is the difference between Cargo and Rusty? So Cargo, as I have mentioned before, is a packet manager, and Rusty is the compiler. Okay. Now, sir, if we do online compile online, is it okay? Yeah, it is okay for right now. It's not a big problem. But I think you have substrate sessions coming up. So anyway, you'd require the compiler in a long run. So I would suggest you just install the the base version into your system. What is a .pdb file that is created when I compiled the program? Oh, when you compiled, you saw a PDB file. Okay, I haven't experienced such a situation before. You should obviously be seeing an exe file. If there could be some errors, then you need to see that. Okay. Now